Space Coast Daily here with Chuck Sheridan, campaigning for a state Senate seat. Tell us about your district.
Hi, I'm Chuck Sheridan. I'm running for Florida Senate, District 19. This is the first time in Florida's history that Brevard County will have a Senate seat that does not include another county, and giving us a real voice in Tallahassee. I have gone through 2 Senate confirmations. I was appointed by Governor Bush to Building Code Administrators and Inspectors Board. I chaired the board in 2006 when we had all the hurricanes, and got an executive order to get as many inspectors as we could that were qualified licensed. And in 3 months we had 5,000 qualified inspectors that helped expedite the recovery. I know how Tallahassee works. I'm a lifelong resident. I know how fragile our economy is here. And one little accident can cause catastrophic things. This is good for Brevard County, and I recently widowed, and I have 100% of my time to do the job and devote to it. And I am looking forward to representing you, because we need a voice in Tallahassee that has experience, that understands. I've been a general contractor for 40 years. I have a master captain's license. I built hotels throughout Florida and apartment complexes and the Caribbean. I'm also a licensed architect and general contractor in the Virgin Islands, and I have a U.S. Coast Guard master captain's license. So I understand the port's needs. I understand our waterways. The lead scientist on the SOLS project, the Save Our Indian River Lagoon System, was my stepdaughter's best friend growing up. So, we've talked, and I understand what we need. I mean, we're a community that cares about our environment, and we've got, and I want to ensure that it's protected. I mean, we're launching 5 rockets a week now, and the 100 launches last year, when you heat seawater up to 10,000 degrees, you create chlorine and bromine, and in the 25% of the water that's left, if there's that much left, the rest goes off in steam and goes back into the ocean. But the runoff is going into Mosquito Lagoon, and people are wondering why Mosquito Lagoon is so crystal clear, and you're catching freshwater fish and saltwater fish and standing from the same spot. Well, it's chlorinated. The grass is clean. When I was a child growing up here, my dad would take us to the wildlife sanctuary, and the water would be pink with the pink shrimp, and there'd be millions of flamingos like you'd see in a movie in Africa. Well, during the Apollo and shuttle programs, they died off, and we now don't get me wrong. I'm not against the space program or the Starship. I was up there last week when they had the FAA public comments on the Starship coming from Texas to Florida 2 weeks after the FAA gave approval. And 100 launches creates enough chlorine to chlorinate 176,000 acres 1 foot deep at where you would keep your swimming pool. So it's really easy to dig a pond and line it and pump the water back out in the ocean in the same pipe they pumped it in from, and solve a lot of that problems. And I was told that they test the water that comes out and there's no salt in it. And I said, well, I believe there's no salt in it, because it's heated to 10 to 12,000 degrees, so the salt turns to chlorine and bromine and hydrazine and a lot of bad zines.
Yeah, Chuck, we're certainly glad to have your perspective here in Brevard County. How are you feeling this election season about your run?
I'm feeling good. I had cataract surgery Monday, and I have it in the other eye in a couple weeks, so I'd have a better vision for the future. But I'm one of those percentage people that I developed the swelling in front of my lens. So while I'm talking to you and walking around here, I see nothing out of my right eye but a white cloud. So but no, I feel good. I think it's a little loud in here today, and I don't think that our speeches could be heard well. And I've been going to all the county commission meetings and city council meetings, and the needs of the community here, of every community except for, I think, Indian Harbor Beach, because they don't have any land left to build on, are undergoing exponential growth. They're having to increase their water and sewer systems, and we're the only community that's adjacent to a federal facility that affects their infrastructure growth that does not receive federal compensation for it. I mean, the Cross-Continental Railroad did. Thomas Jefferson got it for Boston to build the first battleship for the United States. So I mean, it's historically, and we're the only county on Brightline's line to Miami, where they end up with 2 38-story high-rise apartment buildings that doesn't have sound protection, soundproof walls on either side of it. And we're getting ready to 8-lane the B line with 7 different transportation authorities in charge of it. So you got Orlando Transportation Turnpike Authority, the Airport Authority, Brevard County. In Brevard County, we were building 7 new bridges from US 1 to A1A, and the port's going to build another terminal at the same time that the train station is being built in Cocoa Village, and terminating leases on the boat storages on the south side of the port, which 95% of those boats that are stored in those boat storages are people that live in Central Florida. So as we're going to have 7 different contractors causing 7 different road lane closures, along with 1,000 boaters a week pulling their 30-foot boats behind their 4-wheel drive.
Wow, yeah.
We've got a lot to deal with, and I've got experience in growth. I've consulted for growth planning committees. So I built the Ritz-Carlton Club in the Virgin Islands, and their economic development and growth management team are people, and the governor and the building officials. I met with them and consulted with them on what we were doing, because I was also on the governor's Construction Education Outreach Council, and we were charged with, it was a special advisory committee that we were charged with formulating a plan to educate Floridians what to do before, during, and after a hurricane. And it took us a year to put it together, and I think more than a dozen states have adopted that plan now.
Well, congratulations, Chuck. Despite the noise here, you can find information about all the candidates on spacecoastdaily.com and Space Coast Daily TV. And tell us where we can find more information about you.
VoteChuckSheridan.com, or you can email me at chuck@votechucksheridan.com, or you can call me or text me. My phone number is really, really easy. You can go 321 and then go right down the middle, 258, and then start over again, 3213. So, can't get any
easy peasy. Thank you so much, Chuck.